The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys Camping Out.
Presented by Solo Stove.
And broadcasting live from training camp in Oxnard, California.
Well, we've got the fire going. The storylines are about to be flowing. And shout out to Cowboys Nation for tuning in. This is Camping Out presented by Solo Stove. I'm your host, Nicole Hutchison. We've got Mickey Spagnola. We've got Tommy Yarish, Patrick No-See Walker, Nick Eatman, and training camp is officially lit. You get it? See what I did there?
We jumping off with the dad
Absolutely.
jokes?
That's fire.
Don't get me started.
There you go.
Oh, that's fire.
Your turn. Your turn.
Anybody else?
No, I'm good.
Nah,
right.
because you don't want to smoke.
It's all right. That was good right there.
All right, so both of them are kicked off the show. Thank you guys for being here.
But no, obviously, camp kicked off things today with press conference, an opening press conference with Brian Schottenheimer, head coach Brian Schottenheimer, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and a lot of things were discussed, but we have to talk about the Micah Parsons contract. I mean, that's the hot topic of camp so far. Everyone making it clear that there is no movement within that contract, and we do know how vital it is for that contract to get done. But when you think about that, how soon do you guys expect it to get done? And I'll start with you, Tommy.
Yeah, I think this is something that it wouldn't surprise me if it took a little bit longer, just because it seems like as it stands right now, and I know the Joneses don't really delve too much into where they are in contract extensions and contract talks, but it just seems like things are far apart right now as they stand, right? That doesn't say that that gap can't close. I think Stephen Jones put it really well when he said, hey, training camp is a great opportunity for us to get together and talk through these contract things, not just with Micah Parsons, but you think about some of the other guys that have deals coming up, Deron Bland, Tyler Smith, Jake Ferguson. This is a perfect setting for them to do that. And I think the other interesting aspect, too, was Stephen Jones kind of alluding to, hey, we've had some chats with, and Jerry Jones said this too, we've had some chats with people who are close to Micah. That doesn't necessarily mean they've had chats with his agent, David Mulugeta, but they did add that Adam Profiska, another front office member who handles some of the contract situations, has talked with David Mulugeta, who's Micah Parsons' agent. So it seems like the two sides are still somewhat apart, but that doesn't mean that this can't get done at some point while we're here in Oxnard. Could it stretch further? Absolutely. I think Jerry Jones made it very clear that he is not in any sort of particular rush with this contract, and every contract is different, and in this situation, he's not in a rush to get it done. At the end of the day, though, I think Micah Parsons is going to get his money, and he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the league.
Mickey?
I liked what Jerry said on the walk-off when he was asked, do you have a sense of urgency to get this done? And he said, no, nothing like that. So to me, they're sitting there waiting because no one knows what Parsons is asking for, right? You know, everybody just assumes, well, T.J. Watt got this, so that's what Micah's got. Well, what if he's asking for $50 million a year? You're not giving him that, right? So I think, you know, both sides got to kind of come together. And to me, right now, it's a stalemate.
Patrick?
Well, first and foremost, I do agree with Tommy in that I am of the utmost belief that this deal is going to get done. The only question that we're having here is the when. And when you talk about, like what Mickey referenced with the walk-off with Jerry, when you talk about just the fact that there's no real deadline at the moment. Okay, It's the start of training camp. Micah Parsons has reported. I expect he'll be a hold in. I don't think that he'll take any, reps on the practice field as far as team goes, but he's here, he's present. So that tells me that at the earliest, if you're looking for a possible deadline, probably talking about late August, maybe when it starts to impact the possibility of him taking the field in Week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. But until we get to that point, I do believe it's not going to happen. There's nothing imminent right now, like Tommy said, and I agree. It could happen at the drop of a dime because that's how these things go. Either or both sides could wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, enough is enough, let's get this done. But it just doesn't feel like they're there right now. Like Mickey said, I agree, they are far apart right now. What does that mean numbers-wise? Only those two parties know. Nobody sitting here knows. Nobody out there speculating knows. So is it $5 million difference? Is it a guaranteed money difference of, $1 million, $5 million, $20 million? We don't know. But they are far apart right now.
That's fair. Nick?
I mean, you guys took all the points. I mean,
I agree with the deadline and the lack of deadline. Deadlines make deals, and they really don't have one right now. One thing we know two things for sure. Micah doesn't want to be fined, and we also know that if the Cowboys don't like what you're doing or not doing, they also will take your money. We know that. So that's not happening right now, and I think as we get closer and closer, and they start missing significant practices, and obviously if you miss a game, then you're going to be fine. So I think right now, is what Patrick said. You guys have all sort of alluded to this. There's no real deadline for it, and when there is, so he's not missing anything. And I hate to say this, but we saw Sam Williams get carted off the field with an injury, and it probably is going to happen. Knock on wood. Not that one, but this one, or this isn't a wood, but whatever.
That would be bad.
But yeah, that'd be bad. But I think they would do it if it was a significant player. But guys get hurt, and so him not practicing right now at Oxnard is not the worst thing in the world going on. What's Eberflus' defense that you need to learn? Hey, go rush the passer. Okay.
Go eat.
Got it.
Yeah, go eat.
And I like what you brought up there is the injury part. That was something that was stressed today as well. And I like what Jane Slater had quote tweeted on Twitter, basically setting the record straight of, I think that, what Jerry was trying to explain is the fact that he's looking for his guys to be available, and injuries happen, right? And before they sign these big deals, things happen, like Dak Prescott when he said he missed 2/3 of the season after going down in week 8. So that's obviously a big thing for him. But he also said leadership is important as well, and they still want to see a little bit more leadership from Micah Parsons. But I mean, for me, I feel like I've seen him take that step from last year to this year, especially this offseason, just being in the building, like Brian Schottenheimer has said. But how much more of that leadership do you feel like he needs to show in order to, I guess, show that final piece or get that final piece done?
Do you think 3 months of leadership means he's ready to be a leader?
I think
because that's
he's taking
all
the right
we've seen.
steps.
If you think about it, if you're in the locker room and watch him interacting like last year during the season, he's there by himself. He doesn't even talk to any teammates, to me, anyway. So. Yeah. Is he leading because Jerry wants to see that? If you remember the first workout they had the crawfish boil.
Yeah.
Right? They had that big long table out there. All the guys are standing there eating. Mm-hmm. Was number 11 out there? No, he wasn't out there. And even if you're not going to eat crawfish or you don't like it, you should be out there with your buddies, right? Because that's what leaders do. So I'm skeptical about the leadership.
Well,
to be fair, we also don't know what's happening behind closed doors as well. We don't know if Micah Parsons may be spending time with a couple of guys behind closed doors.
But no, I mean last year.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair.
No, I mean,
that's fair.
To me, like what leadership can be defined in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, get to the quarterback, make a play.
Yeah.
Dante Fowler 2 years ago had 5 sacks. It was one of the best years he's had in a while. He was leading with what number 11 was doing. Carl Lawson comes off the street, gets 5 sacks, whatever. He's leading based off of what this guy is doing. Whether or not D-Law doesn't have to admit this, and he won't, but I think he benefited from Micah Parsons as well. So to me, you could be a leader by saying, hey, let's get everyone together. Let's do all that. Let's eat crawfish. All that. I'm not saying your point's not right, but you could also be a leader in going and doing your job, and the other guys will follow. I mean, yes, it's great to have leaders. You better have some followers too. And so, I think it goes both ways. And so I just kind of think the leadership thing is a little overblown to me.
Well, and here's the thing too: is first of all, you made a good point that everybody's leadership style is different, and if you guys disagree with this, feel free to contest me on it, but not everybody is a leader. Not everybody is just a natural-born leader. And that's not I'm not saying Micah Parsons isn't a leader. I'm not saying he's not capable of being a leader, but some guys are just not leaders in a locker room. You can look at any team in the NFL, and you can say that about certain players. They can be star players. They can not be star players. Some guys, it's just not their thing, and they do their own thing, and that's where you get leading by example, where they're not maybe necessarily going into practice saying, okay, I'm going to, go out there and post 5 sacks in practice today, and this is my leadership. No, they're just going out there and getting 5 sacks, right? There's not necessarily like, I need to be a leader for this team. Some guys are just so good that guys will follow and try to build up their habits. I think you can look at plenty of historical examples to look at that. Some guys are just different like that, and they don't necessarily have those leadership traits. It's not a knock on them. That's not saying you can't be a good football player without being a leader. That's just how they're wired.
And to that point, I mean, look at it as such. Not everybody was born to be a general, like you're saying, Tommy. Some people are just really good soldiers, okay? And there's no knock to them for being that. And I was under the impression that when you talk about the first couple of years for Micah Parsons, I believe I said this on Talking Cowboys at one point in year 2, when the leadership question came up. I said, well, what if he's not Dak? Right? What if he's not a Michael Irvin or one of those more vocal guys? He's just the solemn guy who, when you turn the tape on, he's absolutely devouring the opposing quarterback. He's leading by example. But I started to see something last year's training camp, and it was Micah Parsons and how he took Mozzie Smith under his wing. And when the cameras are gone and the media is gone and the fans were gone, it was Micah Parsons and Mozzie Smith running sprints. And it was Micah Parsons cheering on Mozzie Smith during sets. And it was Micah Parsons pulling Mozzie Smith off the field to coach him up between reps and things like that. And that was with and without cameras. So to your point, Nicole, and I understand what Mickey is talking about because we're all walking in the same locker room. So I see what Mickey is seeing as well. But I'm also factoring in the growth. I don't expect that Micah Parsons would go from a lifetime of football in which he's so accustomed to being that lone lion on the team that just goes and eats to now being the face, one of the faces of one of the most visible sports franchises. That's a transition that requires grace. What I need to see is the effort. I'm seeing the effort. Ultimately, the jury is out on what that leadership looks like for him in year 5, year 6. We'll see. But as it stands, I'm seeing effort. So I'm going to give him grace in that transition.
So if you're Micah Parsons, and of course we can't speak for him, but if you are in his position, how are you showing up every single day? Are you here at training camp without that long-term security so far? Patrick, I'm going to go to you.
I personally am.
Okay.
But you know what I love about what Micah Parsons is saying as far as how he's handling this? He's doing it in such an eloquent way because CeeDee Lamb held out for a new deal. Zach Martin held out to get a rework deal, okay? Holdouts are happening around the leagues. Look at, Trey Hendricks and T.J. Watt before he got his deal. Micah Parsons is saying, I'm choosing not to do that, but I'm also not demonizing the guys who choose to go that route. So in answering your question, if I'm in this position, I'm going to show up because I want to ingratiate myself with the new defensive coaching staff. I want to help set the new culture and the new tone with the new head coach, who, by the way, it's his first time as an NFL head coach, okay? And I want to help these young guys who are coming up, and I want to learn the new guys like a Solomon Thomas and some of these new additions on the defensive line and the linebacker core. Jack Sanborn, he's playing right behind you. Kenneth Murray, he's playing right behind you. These are guys who were not here in the system. So I'm in the building. Am I stepping on the field? Is Patrick and O.C. Walker stepping on the field without a new deal? In training camp? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nick?
Oh, I'm on the field. I'm on the field for sure. Okay. I'm in between what Dak did last year of taking every rep because he's a quarterback and he understood that.
Yeah.
And I'm in between where CD, which not sure where he was, but he was getting himself ready. I'm on the field. I'm not practicing though, and I think that does.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, in the building, doing whatever is going on here, solo stove. You hanging out. That's cool, but I think he can still be on the sidelines. He could be behind the huddle. He could be talking to the guys when they, look at this move, look at that, and listening to what some of these calls. It is new defense, even though I still think he'll be fine. Yeah. But I think he can make a point that way, be there, be involved, listen to stuff, and not have to, be on the field practicing until it's really time.
And to clarify, that's what I mean when I say I would not be on the field. I'm not taking team reps.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely be on the sideline coaching guys up. Like I said, I loved how he was coaching Mozzie up last year. Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't a contract situation. But I'd be on the field. I'm coaching guys up. I'm helping the new coaches with these players, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not putting the pads on. I'm not doing 7-on-7 drills. I'm not doing full team drills because of the risk associated. But I'm out here, though.
So
absolutely.
Do you think the majority of people out there understand he's under contract?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people think he needs a contract. He doesn't need a contract.
You really want me to tell you what I think most of the people think? Because they're not. Well, they don't like me anyway. So most people don't really understand the minutia of how the contracts and the salary caps work. So there are some people that don't believe that he's under contract. But then there are some people that know he's under contract but may not understand, the why. Okay, well, if you're on, they have you on the contract, $24 million fully guaranteed, get on the field. They're not looking at the long game, right? That's a short-sighted view.
I understand that.
Like you mentioned, Sam Williams, he went down.
But why isn't he signed by now? Do we know what he's asking for?
A lot of people forget this is a two-way street.
That's more than $24 million a year.
A lot of people forget this is
for the extension.
A two-way street.
He could be asking for $50 million a year.
It's a two-way street,
right?
And always will be a two-way street.
And then he knows that at least, or his agent knows, at least he's going to get probably 41, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm asking for 50, and who knows? They might say yes, but they've got to come. Look, the CD thing and the Dak thing, there was concessions made by them to get to where they ended up. Now, did they end up where everybody thought they would? That's right. But did he want more guaranteed? Did he want more money? We don't know that, and we don't know that with him. And by the way, I think helping Mozzie Smith was self-serving, because if Mozzie played well, that helped him.
You could say that about helping any teammate on defense. You could say that about helping any
help
of the
me,
line.
help you. Isn't that what they said at Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
They also said, "Show me the money."
Yeah, they did.
Now,
They also,
I'm with these guys. I think that there's a benefit of being on the field and being with your teammates. And, I think Jerry Jones outlined what he wanted Micah Parsons to do was, get on these young guys and coach them up and be a rah-rah guy is exactly how he put it, and just go out there and ingrain yourself with these new teammates and ingrain yourself with this new coaching staff. Now, if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm not working out either. I'm not doing team drills or anything like that. But I think that there is a major detriment to that. I know it's obvious, but I think it's amplified in this situation because not only do you have a new defensive coaching staff, which is your third different one in as many years, but you're playing next to a bunch of new guys at defensive tackle, a lot of new faces at edge rusher, even though Dante Fowler's back, and different faces really across your back seven too in the secondary. Is you don't know what you're going to have at corner to start the season. So let's say Micah Parsons drags this out and signs right before week 1. Well, then, if you've got Micah Parsons needing to knock the rust off of you, you've got a banged-up secondary. That's not going to play well for the Cowboys' defense. And just simply put, I don't think they have the pieces to be as successful as they can be with Micah Parsons that has his rust knocked off. I mean, you think about CeeDee Lamb last year, and he told us several times in the early goings of the season, it took me a while to get on the same page with Dak. It took me a while to get ramped up because he wasn't at training camp. Now, does that mean you can't hold out and get the money you deserve because Micah Parsons is worth every penny and CeeDee Lamb is worth every penny? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that at all. But you do that in knowing that there might be a period where you've got to get back up to speed. Not because you're not a great player, not because you're not a great athlete, but just that's because how the human body naturally works.
And it does bear mentioning that Micah did state that he doesn't want to have to deal with the rust situation that CeeDee Lamb had to deal with.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder that as training camp rolls along and as preseason rolls along and these days roll by, at what point, if any, does Micah Parsons kind of go to his agent and then go to the Cowboys, have his agent go to the Cowboys and say, you know what, we need to kind of get this wrapped up because I don't want to deal with rust going into this season because I truly do want to try to make a Super Bowl run. That means Micah Parsons needs to hit the ground from week 1, September 4th against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he knows it.
Yeah, well, I want to switch gears because hopefully we do see that Micah Parsons does get his deal done. But let's switch gears over to Trayvon Diggs, another big topic of conversation in today's opening press conference, and that word leadership was used again in regards to Trayvon Diggs. What did y'all make of the entire conversation in regards to Trayvon? I mean, I'll start with you, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Maybe they should make a story out of this, but 7-Eleven is connected here. It really is.
Yes, it is.
It really is because
two different sides of the spectrum.
When you think about it, I think a lot that's happening with Trayvon is stuff that is frustrating the team, and they're like, you know what, we just gave him a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when we're giving these guys a lot of money, we need to make sure and see this and this. So I think what they're not seeing out of Trayvon, they're making sure the next big deal, and Micah's probably going to be the next big deal, and Tyler Smith and all that, and I don't think they have to worry about that either. But I'm just saying, I think because of that, maybe they feel, I don't know, burned is the right word. Yeah, I don't think it is, but
Y'all are sick people.
Sorry, but no, I just feel like that it's connected, and they're like, hey, we need to make sure there's more to it than just being a great player, an all-pro, setting records and things like that, which Trayvon did. There's more to it than that, and so I think they feel like, make sure the next guys, that like Micah, make sure that they're doing more than just stuff on the field.
My stance on it is this, and anyone who's followed me for an extended period of time, going back to the draft that Trayvon Diggs came into the Cowboys organization with, I'm a huge fan of Trayvon Diggs. I've been a huge fan of him since he was coming out of Alabama. Go Dogs! I don't like Alabama, but since he was coming out of Alabama, mocked him to the Cowboys. Cowboys found a way to get him in the second round. Great, ecstatic. He came in. He hit the ground running. He's setting records up there with Everson Walls and whatnot. But that being said, two things can be true. It's also true that it's interesting to me to see certain chunks of the fan base today upset at the organization for holding a franchise cornerstone player accountable, because these are the same chunks of fandom that were perennially upset, saying that the Cowboys organization was soft. They don't hold players accountable. Oh, what would Jimmy Johnson do? Respectfully, I understand. What would Jimmy Johnson do? This is what Jimmy Johnson would do. He would hold the star player accountable, or the player accountable. This is a contractual thing.
Depends how good he is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, Mickey?
Yeah.
It would depend how good he is.
That's true.
And the fact that there was no free agency or
if
salary cap.
If you're Curvin Richards and you fumble, you can get cut.
That's
If you're Leon Lett and you kick the ball in the snow,
story.
you say, Leon, get it together, man. We're going to need you down the run. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Very true. Very true. But what I will say is that I can appreciate. Now we're talking about culture being reset with Brian Schottenheimer, and what I saw Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones doing to Trayvon Diggs. I did not view it as shots fired. I did not view it as shade. They did not say he was not a capable player. They did not say he was, underperforming. What they did say between this morning and previously, whenever mentioning Trayvon Diggs, is they wanted to see him attack rehab more aggressively, coming off of that torn ACL. They wanted to see him honor the contractual clause that puts him in the building, because they want him as a leader.
Can I stop you?
Come on.
I think they just wanted to. You could put a period after. They just want to see him. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
That's
they
fair.
wanted to see him. He might be attacking the rehab and all that, but
Outside of Twitter. They want to see him outside of the social media videos that are posted.
What do y'all think on this?
I saw him this morning, and guess who he was walking in the building with? Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
Right.
7-Eleven all day long.
Right. And if you think back to last year when they did stretch, who were the two guys off by themselves stretching?
7-Eleven.
Tommy, you want to weigh in on that?
Open 24 hours.
I was waiting for him to chime in.
Come on.
It's not a big deal. It's not to have anything winning and losing, right? But if I don't know, one of the other guys over there and everybody's in their position with the team, and then those two jokers are over on the side. The hell?
Tommy, something you want to say?
I don't know if I can top that. Well, here's the interesting part, right? It goes back to what I said a little bit earlier. And again, this isn't a dig at anybody. Get it? But
there you go.
This isn't a dig at anybody. But is Trayvon Diggs a guy that you say is a lead? Are you gonna stab me with it?
You
Come
said
on,
it
man.
wasn't a dig.
It wasn't a dig.
That's more than a dig, man.
About to play poker.
But is Trayvon Diggs really a guy that you look at as a leader on this team in terms of what we've seen from Dak Prescott and Tyler Smith and those kinds of things? I think even Trayvon Diggs has told us, hey, I'm a shy guy. Like, I don't, I've got my circle and I don't really go outside of that. And that's fine. And Trayvon Diggs is a good example. You can be a good player without necessarily being a great leader. And I think Trayvon Diggs fits that mold. So, it's interesting that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones mentioned, leadership is something with Trayvon Diggs. And I think really it's just the fact that they are more frustrated with the fact that he was not in the building as much as he was during the rehabilitation process. The contract clause was 84.3 pi, basically. It was the rest of the number. It was less than 85%. I could tell you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Percent of the off season in the Cowboys facility, and Stephen Jones said it well. He's like, he was going into South Florida rehabilitating. He knew what he was getting into. Yeah. He knew that was in the contract. This is a decision that Trayvon Diggs made on his own.
Exactly.
And that's not saying that Trayvon, in his mind, he made a poor decision. I mean, if he's getting the treatment and care that he needs in South Florida, then, if that's what he thinks, that's fine. But I also understand from the team's perspective, if he's doing that, then you're kind of out of the loop on where he's at in his recovery. If you're not with the team doctors, if you're not with the team rehab group, then everybody's kind of not on the same page, and that's just not productive for both sides, because this is a team that needs their corners as early as they can get them with how banged up that room is. So I can certainly see why the ownership is frustrated in terms of what Trayvon Diggs is doing, and I can see where he needs to improve in that aspect, especially given, like you guys said, the amount of money that they gave him in a contract.
And you also don't want to set the precedent of, okay, well, if you forgive this clause in Trayvon's contract, well, what happens, down the road when another player, unnamed player, wants you to forgive that, and they're just going to point that trigger. Well, you didn't.
Because the thing is, too, you make your point. They didn't have to take the clause.
Yeah.
And Stephen Jones kind of clarified when I asked him about that. He was like, it was part of the contract.
You asked Jerry.
And Stephen jumped in. I should have followed up and said, well, you didn't have to take the clause. And I think he kind of answered his own question, because he said Trayvon knew what he was doing. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. He knew that was part of the contract. He knew that was part of the clause. He made this decision by himself.
Yeah, everyone's worried about Trayvon losing $500,000 except for Trayvon, it seems like. Right?
Well, he's only got $8.5 million more that he's making than his base salary.
Like, we're making this big deal out of it, and it's like, if he's not worried about it, then, I mean, being where he was and training where he was more important than $500,000.
I think
if he didn't know, then that's on his
Maybe he just treated it as an invoice to him training outside. So maybe in his mind, mathematically, I'll just pay $500,000 to train where I want to train.
Well, he's still got to pay that $500,000. So, anyways, I think the interesting part of this isn't necessarily Trayvon Diggs, doing what he did. I think it's the fact that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones seemed frustrated with it and how the process was handled. I think that's where the story is, right?
So it's just funny. There's 91 guys on the roster. These two aren't going to be practicing this week. There's about 3 or 4 more that won't be as well.
Yep.
But that's where the focus is. It's always who's
7-11.
Yeah, 7-11.
7-11.
So they didn't announce the PUP list yet.
They did.
They did.
So the PUP list consists of Trevon Diggs, DeMarvion Overshown, and Josh Butler. Savon Revel, he'll go to the NFI list, the non-football injury list. So those 4 guys will start on injury list. But obviously, any of those 4 can be brought onto the practice field at any point.
Hey, thanks for the lob right there, because I was going to go into what.
I knew you were. I felt that.
You felt it?
I felt that.
What do y'all make of this cornerback room? Because as of right now, you have no Trayvon Diggs. You're hoping that Kalen Carson makes a jump this year. Savon Revel, of course, is on the non-football injury list as well. Josh Butler out. So what do y'all make of this cornerback room?
I'm trying to. Who's left? I mean, Bland.
That's my problem.
Bland, but you don't know if
Elam.
Yeah, they were playing Kwamu a little bit at cornerback and OTAs, but we don't really know. But what that exactly, it's not gonna.
It is not.
Tell us how you feel,
Tommy,
Mickey.
tell us.
Wait,
no, I'm good.
Tell us how you feel
Yeah,
about how he.
I think he's
What have
this
you
is
seen from
this is a guy that he played safety in college, right? So I think anytime
He played corner.
I thought he played safety in South Carolina. Oh, okay. I apologize.
The story is Dan Quinn calls him up. He played corner opposite of J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played corner, and he's on the. I think it's on the call, and he goes, Coach, you're about to get the best cornerback in the league, and he goes, oh, that's great, but we're gonna move you to safety.
Okay, so I got it flipped up.
You're about to get the best safety in the league.
I'm sorry, I flipped that up. But no, I think, if he's a guy that they put at corner, and we saw him in the slot a little bit, that's going to be the really interesting part. Not just from inside the what?
Mickey.
How many times you see us? What do you think he is? 6'4", 6'5"?
It's about 6'5".
Trying to play in the
6'5"
slot.
rubber band. Yeah.
Oh my Lord!
Can I get my point across, man?
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, in the slot in general, not necessarily Mukwamu earning that job. I wouldn't, say that he's going to play in the slot, but just the slot in general, because if you keep Deron Bland there, then what are you going to do on the outside? And if you keep Deron Bland on the outside, then who are you going to put in the slot? That's the question I was posing, right? I think Israel Mukwamu, obviously, because of his size, is kind of the prototype of what the Cowboys like at that outside cornerback spot, right? Those longer armed guys and those taller guys who can do more for you down the field. I just think if this is a guy who hasn't seen as many snaps at that cornerback spot, and you're throwing him kind of into the fire, literally, here early on with the lack of – you guys started it.
No,
with
I think
the lack
Chris
of,
did, actually, about 30 minutes ago.
Thanks, Bean. Jeez.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't know if I can follow
No,
that
you're
up.
good.
No, I'm just saying.
You got to fight through it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. If that's, I'm not saying he's not a guy that can play outside for you. I just think that, if that's what they're going to do and that's what their plan is, then they've got to start now because he's going to need as much time as he can get in this system to be able to acclimate himself to playing on the outside, which is a spot that he hasn't done very much up to this point in his career just yet.
Listen, bottom line is this cornerback position is in dire straits.
Yeah.
Right now. You're starting training camp with, who do we say, Trevon Diggs is on PUP. Josh Butler, he suffered a torn ACL in December.
Right?
Right.
Yep.
Look at the timing. He might not be back until 2026. And then you talk about Savon Revel. Now, I feel, in speaking with Savon and seeing his progress, I feel he will, eventually be on the field for training camp. I don't know if he'll be allowed any preseason work. Depends on how his medicals go. But I do feel like he's trending toward being on the field or being available for the Philadelphia Eagles. Put a pin in that. We'll see if that's the case. But who do you have right now that's active? You got Deron Bland and company.
Literally.
That's what you got.
Kyrie Elam. Kalen Carson. I mean,
right. And Kalen Carson is coming off of an up and down rookie season, more downs than ups, and has season-ending shoulder surgery. Yep. So he's going to have to, number one, get back to his form, and then figure out how to be an impact cornerback in the league at the NFL level. Two different things. Andrew Booth had up and down, a lot of downs, few ups.
Yeah, you're being nice here with this up and down.
So and it goes for it. You have unproven guys like Troy Pride, for example. So you have bodies, but as far as proven, because Kyrie Elam isn't proven, right? He's trying to prove himself. Yeah. Okay, even coming off of the Buffalo Bills, it's Deron Bland and Israel Mukuamu, who showed me something spectacular on that one particular weekend in Tampa Bay against Tom Brady of all quarterbacks.
That's true.
So does that translate to him being able to be a full-time slot? I don't know that it does, which concerns me in that, are you going to have a combo pack at nickel to try to replace Jordan Lewis? This is what really chapped my hide about those who didn't appreciate what Jordan Lewis brought to this team. Not simply from a leadership standpoint. We talk about leadership a lot. Jordan Lewis was the consummate leader. But you're talking about the best nickel corner in the game. And a lot of fans didn't really know what that looked like, appreciated it. But now that he's gone, what do you got? You have a team that is trying a safety in Wanye Thomas at nickel in some reps in OTAs and minicamp. That tells you how desperate they are to try to figure that out. Yeah. So right now, a lot of things unsettled. I can respect what Shadi said as far as looking at it from an optimistic point of view, saying you get opportunities to look at these young guys now. But you're going to have a lot of these young guys stepping up to show you something. Otherwise, where are you?
Nick, did you just get hit by a 6-iron tee shot?
I don't know, but I was looking because I think my back's to.
It's like night golf over here, and I
was wondering what you were looking
at.
How you doing? And I tell you who that isn't Tiger Woods, so I'm not worried about.
And there's no net behind
my
me.
Goodness,
either.
Nick Harris is out here late at night. If that ball's coming this way,
well, I just heard the 9-iron or whatever, but I'm like 4. I mean,
see, Tommy, that's a perfect example of what I say when I say push through the distractions. I'm sitting here making my point while I'm trying to figure out what Nick is looking.
I'm looking
like UFO.
I'm looking for like a Titleist 9 that's shanked over here, and I'm trying to,
Well, you saw the sign over on the other side, right?
Yeah, I did.
Where that little.
Excuse me.
Is there on that note? We actually got to take our first break, so we'll be right back with more.
The artificial
more camping
grass,
out presented by Solo Stove.
This is going off.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Back to Cowboys Camping Out.
It's chilly out here, but we're bringing some heat here on Camping Out, presented by Solo Stove.
Stay
Nicole
puffed.
Hutchison.
Stay puffed.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
This is like the quarterback position, baby. You look burnt.
Y'all are having so much fun. I love it. All right, Nicole Hutchison here with Mickey Spagnola.
This is the only reason I
Tommy
came.
Arsh. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Patrick Nosey
Yes,
Walker.
Tommy, I'll
and
do
Nick
this for you.
Even.
I'll make it for you.
Hey, y'all trying to make my little s'more after?
Yeah, I got
Here you
it.
go.
Yeah,
Here you
No,
go.
no, you.
You don't want Sorry.
All right, next topic
Wow.
of discussion.
Ooh,
I think
Oh.
works.
Sir.
That's not
This
a
is why you
torch.
came?
This is why you buy it.
No.
You hold this.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Thank you. Fire
Thanks.
hazard.
That's what I'm good for.
Fire Marshal Bill
So-
out here.
You had one job, Tommy.
Let me
Well,
show you
you
something.
got to burn it.
Let's
You
talk
can't-
No.
about well, Mickey. You just
Yeah, you
throwing
gotta-
it around.
You're gonna throw that on me, man.
just good.
What is happening?
Well,
All right.
first of all, Solo
too
Stove.
high.
Solo Stove is
works
what's happening.
outstandingly.
Yeah,
great.
no joke.
It's amazing. Okay,
This
you
might
can
be
do
the-
marshmallows in like 4 seconds, so it's really good.
That's
All
pretty
right,
quick.
biggest position depth most concerned about. Let's go, Tommy.
I know we talked a lot about corner, but I think I look at this defensive tackle room and what?
Sorry, go ahead.
I look at this defensive tackle room and I think that you can have this one. How's
No,
that?
I don't want it. It's okay. I'll make my own.
I think this defensive tackle room. You look at the room as a whole, and they've got 7 bodies in there, and you think about 2 of them are younger guys, in Jay Tolia and Tommy King Basote, and
Who?
you bring in. Huh?
Who'd you say?
King Basote.
No, but who would you say before that?
Jay
Did you say-
Tolia.
Doia.
Oh,
I thought
the
you
way
said Tommy.
Yeah, the way you said it was
No,
weird.
Jay-
he said Jay
Toia.
Toia.
And Tommy-
Like
He
he
said
said
Tommy.
King
but-
Basote.
Oh,
Basote.
okay. I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
I got your back, brother.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
You
I
You said it
appreciate
right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Man, y'all trying to ruin all my segments.
It's just the headset, maybe.
Or the s'more in front of you.
That's hard.
No, but you think about Oso Digizua and Mozzie Smith. I think Mozzie Smith obviously is such a big question about all this, right? It feels like the 3rd year in a row where we're asking, okay, can he take that step and be what he was supposed to be when they picked him in the first round coming out of Michigan? And if that answer is still a no, then you look at this depth chart. Solomon Thomas is a guy who has functioned as a rotational piece, and he's familiar with what Aaron White-Cotton wants. From his defensive tackles, but other than that, you've got 2, first round, or you got 2 7th-round rookies. I apologize, in Doia and King Basote that you're going to be asking a lot of. And then you've got Denzel Daxon in that room. You've got Ernest Brown in that room. They went to the free agent market again to look for another defensive tackle. Maybe they try out some more at some point along the way in camp. And
Some more.
some more. Yeah, there you go. But if you're looking at a group that's going to rotate, you don't have a lot of bodies there. And I know you can't really carry you can't carry that many in the first place, but you don't have a lot of bodies that have gotten you a lot of snaps, right? Outside of those top 3, and Solomon Thomas, Oso Digizua, and Mozzie Smith, is you're leaning on a lot of guys that don't have as much experience. And so in a position that's important as that, in a defense that focuses so much on stopping the run like Matt Eberflus's has, then I think you're going to be asking a lot of your linebacker level, which is missing DeMarvio and Overshown. They don't have Eric Kendricks, who was their leading tackler a year ago back. And you're just asking a lot from that front 7 if one of your prime focuses is going to be stopping the run.
Yeah, Mickey.
What about
What was the
Winfrey? Isn't he a defensive tackle?
That's
or is he
the free agent that I was talking about.
Perry.
Perry and Winfrey.
Yeah.
Thank you. I blanked the name.
That's another body. Look.
But it goes to the point that it's
they got
those
bodies.
top three have the experience.
they got bodies.
And below that, you've got some guys who don't have as many snaps.
Somebody will get released that they'll pick up.
But
Cool.
that does happen. No,
They're
but
going to be awesome.
that does happen. But for me, I mean, I really could.
What was your
circle-
answer, Mick?
Biggest position, depth position.
Oh, I
sorry.
thought we talked about it. Cornerback.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say I could circle the running back, but at least I'm looking at the running backs room, and it's just me trying to figure out who's going to be the front runner, who's going to be the lead back. I think Javonte Williams enters training camp a little bit of the lead horse. I tried to see if Brian Schottenheimer would kind of jump on that, but he basically just said it's between him, Miles Sanders, but the other guys are going to get a fair shot as well, and Maffa and Blue and Deuce and Hunter Lipke. But at least there are bodies there that I feel like they can work with something. I am so concerned about this cornerback position, and not because of lack of bodies, but because of lack of proven bodies alongside Deron Bland. And if you're entering camp, and like I said, still trying to figure out if you're going to have to do a combo pack at nickel, at slot corner, whatever the case may be, it's just very, very concerning because while Tommy makes an excellent point, I could see why anyone would list defensive tackle as a concern. I could see that. I at least feel a little bit better with the addition of Solomon Thomas. We are waiting to see Mozzie Smith break out, but at least he has NFL starts under his belt. When you look at that cornerback position, just rewind back to the end of the first segment and you'll see my take on it. Outside of Deron Bland, Izzy is on a one-year deal. Don't know exactly how they're going to play him yet. Wanye Thomas, he might experiment with flexing between safety and nickel corner. Kalen Carson coming off of that season and the shoulder injury and also needs to learn how to be an impact cornerback at the NFL level. The list goes on and on. When will Trayvon Diggs come back? When he comes back, how much grace will he require in order to get back to all-pro form? Because that's not a given coming off of a torn ACL. But, you know, I just my head keeps going back to cornerback.
Yeah, I'll just – we could move to another topic because it's corner or defensive tackle, you know, and I agree with both.
Least concerned about.
Real quick,
ahead.
going back to Patrick's point, just to say,
Go ahead.
you're talking about looking for a lead back. I don't think they have one. I think it's going to be by committee again.
Don't do that.
Follow.
I was just about to try to enjoy my s'more.
Well, you can still enjoy
You
your
can still
s'more.
enjoy it.
No, because that always
It doesn't change the
taste.
taste.
It always ends tragically. But I don't want to see a running back by committee's approach again with the Cowboys. I want to see a definitive lead back. Does that mean I want a bell cow? I don't see that they have a bell cow. I do feel like multiple backs will contribute in multiple ways, but I at least need to know going into any particular week, that's the guy. That's the guy. That's the guy. And the other guy can be like a 1B, and then you work it out from there. Running backs by committee, it really detonated in their face last year.
Well, it didn't because they didn't get to the guy that should have been the starter in the first place.
Fair.
He ran for 1,000 yards,
Yes.
right? Yeah. He ran for as many yards as Tony Pollard did.
Do you know why they didn't get to him? Because they were so busy trying to shoehorn the running back by committee. Right? They were so busy trying to make that work.
They should have figured out that the committee was that guy.
Should have. Agreed.
And gave him the ball.
Agreed.
He gained the majority of his yards in like the last 7 or 8 games.
I agree. But
So much that they said, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rico.
Well, somebody else paid him.
Well,
right?
I know that, but I mean, it was one of those things. I mean, we've seen that around here. I mean, we've seen guys have great seasons. DeMarco Murray had 1,800 yards, won Offensive Player of the Year, and they let him go. You know, so I don't think they looked at it and said, you know what, Rico is pretty good. I think they looked at it and said, well, crap, if Rico can do this, we can get anyone in here. I think that's what the approach was.
And to clarify, I'm not saying a by committee approach is a good approach.
You're saying that they
I'm just
might
saying
take
that
it.
that is.
That they
I don't
might
know if they
take
have any other option. I don't look at this running back
Yet.
room and say, well, yeah, we don't know that yet, right? I think
Right.
Brian Schottenheimer put it really well to you when
Yet.
you asked him.
Yeah.
Was, well, we haven't really seen much of these guys yet because they don't have pads on. You can't really evaluate running backs at OTAs or without pads on. So, but even just still, you've got a guy who's coming back from a major injury in Javonte Williams. He says he's feeling healthy now, but the human body sometimes speaks
Grace.
differently.
No,
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm not giving him
grace. Is my
yes,
question.
that's a good point.
Right.
Miles Sanders, who got a Pro Bowl season in Philadelphia and then has had 2 years that he'd like to probably have back in Carolina, where he hasn't played as well. And then you've got Deuce Vaughn, who is still kind of looking to take that step. Jaden Blue, who wasn't a bell cow at Texas. Phil Maffa, who was a bell cow at Clemson, but it doesn't have the speed that you want from an NFL running back nowadays. So, and I look at this room and I just say, I don't know if you've got that.
And to that point, it makes me wonder, because keep in mind, the NFL trade deadline is not for a couple more months. So I do think this is a Cowboys team. Looking at some of the moves they made this offseason, they've been mostly aggressive, right? You talk about the addition of George Pickens, selectively aggressive, but I like what they've selected.
They've only paid one running back. So if you're going to follow the money, it's Javonte Williams. He got paid $3 million, right? $2 million guaranteed. Miles Sanders is on a veteran exception 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Blue's a 5th-round draft choice. I don't even know if he's making $1 million in a base salary as a rookie. Who else? Maffa.
Blue.
And
he said Blue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm saying if Blue hangs on to the football, he's going to add something to this team.
Absolutely.
Agree with that. I do agree with that. That Texas just came out of you just in.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, yes. I mean, turn on the Ohio State game. Turn on the Ohio State game in the college football playoffs. You'll see what Jaden Duke can do for you. Jaden Blue can do for you. Both of his touchdowns.
What about the end of the game? Should we turn that on? Or?
No, don't turn that part on. Just turn it off
after that.
Before the final Ohio State possession of halftime. Turn it off.
All right,
Nicole, I'll answer. A wide receiver.
We're gonna take our second break.
I'm going with the wide receiver. What? Not
the least word.
Yeah,
least
wide
word.
receiver.
We're gonna come back to that.
I'm more worried about the s'mores than I am.
In our last segment, we gotta take our second break here on Camping Out, presented by Solo Stove.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, I'm on the road a lot during the season. The one bag I rely on to be my daily driver, the easy access Yeti Ranchero backpack. I use it to carry my knives, water bottle, and of course, my Meat Church seasonings. It's my do-it-all, everyday backpack that I trust all season long, and since it's a Yeti bag, I know it's built to keep trucking for years to come. Check out Yeti's full line of tough-as-nails backpacks at yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner. With over $9 billion in business loans and more than 140 business specialists right here in North Texas, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Back to Cowboys Camping Out.
Cowboys Nation, thanks for sticking with us here on Camping Out, presented by Solo Stove. Nicole Hutchison, Mickey Spagnola, Tommy Yarich, Patrick Nosey Walker, Nick Eatman. We've got to close things out. What?
What was waving?
Just waving.
Goodness.
Blocking, so I'm just like, hey.
I want to make sure that we do close things out with this. We got a couple more minutes here on the show, but what in training camp will give you hope that this team will be better than a 7-win team this year? And I'm going to go with Nikki.
Ooh. Man. I don't want to see that cart very often.
That's right.
I mean, that's how it's one of those things. I've used this line before. Training a football season is like a NASCAR race. You know, you got to have about 400 laps to win a race, but you can you can lose it in 1 lap, 2 laps. You know, you can lose it early with injuries and setbacks and things like that, and you just have to stay. You have to stay healthy. I mean, we got a chance to go down to Miami and talk to Jimmy Johnson. We're doing a documentary, and we interviewed him. Not on Jimmy Johnson, but he was a part of it, and he said this team is really, really important for them to stay healthy, and that's every team, but more with this team this year because of how top heavy they are with their salary, and that just from 1 to 53, they won't be as talented. So they have to make sure that those key players stay healthy.
That's good.
Perfect point.
Now, we forget that last year. It gets overlooked. It gets overlooked nationally how many top players they were without.
No, they got
year.
ravaged by the
Right?
injury bug.
I mean,
unreasonably so.
Look at the teams that went to the playoffs. They all had their quarterbacks. The most starts any of those teams went to the to playoffs were 2 starts, and one of them for each team. The guy, they sat him the last game of the season.
I'm with you, except for one thing, the Saints game. The Saints game. I mean, how do you explain that one?
How many points did they give up?
150. I don't know. But I mean, it's
not great.
No, but
even the quarterback
said lots.
The quarterback couldn't say.
I don't know, 40, 44, 19. I mean, they didn't score a lot either. But like
said a lot to a little up there.
But that game right there was one that I always think about. You're right, a lot of injuries, and they had a chance to do something later if they wouldn't have been so injured. But it's hard to overlook that Saints game, and they weren't very good as it turns out. So
they weren't very ready.
But I'm saying, but the Saints were, they weren't ready in any game. They didn't score in the first quarter. They didn't score in the third quarter. They didn't come out of the locker room and do anything. That team wasn't very prepared. That's one thing that hopefully this is where you get prepared. Sorry, there's 2 answers there.
I need to see the offensive line show me signs of potential domination in 2025. This is an offensive line that is post-Zach Martin, post-Tyron Smith. You need Tyler Guyton to take a huge step in year 2. Tyler Booker, he's a rookie. He's stepping into some massive shoes and trying to replace Zach Martin. You need Terrence Steele to get back to prime Terrence Steele form. He has a lot of time removed now from that injury. He looks good. He's moving well. Let's see if that holds out. You know what you're going to get from Tyler Smith, and I have full confidence that Cooper Beebe is only going to get better over a very impressive rookie season. But as a unit, you need to see them gel. It's a lot of new pieces. You need to see them gel. You need to see them moving cohesively. And I need to see Dak Prescott standing cleanly in that pocket more often than I see him trying to escape to buy time, because he's coming off of a torn hamstring because he was trying to buy time to save the day against the Atlanta Falcons in that particular game. If you want Dak Prescott healthy, and I know everybody does, and Jerry Jones wants it more than anyone other than Dak Prescott, that's going to be the that's going to be the preface to you winning 10 games, maybe 11, maybe 12 games. But the way that begins is with the offensive line. It's new look. It's rebuilt. They have to dominate. That's also going to help you figure out who your running back is, or if you can skate by with a by-committee approach.
Well, I'm going to go one level back from Patrick and say it's Dak Prescott. I think this is the most important season of Dak Prescott's career.
So keep him clean.
And I think, well, that is obviously emphasis point number 1, and they addressed that in every way they could this offseason. You look at the depth pieces they added in free agency. They obviously go and pick Tyler Booker in the first round when collectively, everybody kind of thought, okay, if it's not Tedero McMillan, maybe they go with Matthew Golden from Texas, and they pick Tyler Booker, and it kind of not blindsided everybody, but it was just kind of like, okay, all the talk was offensive weapon, and then they load up on the offensive line, which isn't the worst thing in the world, and Tyler Booker I think is going to be a great piece for them. But I think this season is all as much important for Dak Prescott as it is for his offensive line. Yes, protecting him is one priority, but Dak's got to do his part too.
100%.
Because you mentioned the Saints game and just the early parts of the season last year. You look at 2023 Dak Prescott, and he was not 2023 Dak Prescott at the start of 2024, right? Like there was a very noticeable, okay, he was out of rhythm, and part of that could be because CeeDee Lamb wasn't at training camp.
And who was the other receiver?
And that's part of it. You had Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo got added in the middle of the year. I'm just answering your question, Mickey. I'm just answering your question.
Was there a veteran there?
Brandon Cooks was there.
No, he wasn't.
And he got hurt in
played
week
like,
3.
What, 3 or 4 games?
But
I'm just saying.
You're helping me make my point.
Quarterback's not out there playing singles.
I understand that he's not playing singles, but would you say that Dak Prescott needs to play better compared to what we saw at the start of the year?
He just needs to play like he did in 2023.
Well, that would be very easy, but I'm just saying in general from 20.
So you don't think he can do that?
I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying at the start of 2020, at the
start
of 2024, the first 3 games of the year, when you had CeeDee Lamb, when you had Brandon Cooks, you had your top 2 guys, you had Jalen Tolbert. Do you feel like Dak Prescott was playing at the level that he was in 2023, or at or close to that level?
He didn't score 40 points against the Saints. You're right.
Well, I'm not saying he needs to score 40 points against the Saints, but he wasn't himself.
But he didn't score 40 points. They lost the game because they gave up 44 points.
Right.
But I don't think he was himself at the start of the year compared to 2023.
Well, he didn't
Would
have
you
his
agree
receivers.
with that? But he did. He had CeeDee Lamb, and I'm not saying CeeDee Lamb was ready to go.
CeeDee Lamb wasn't ready. CeeDee Lamb told you wasn't, and Brandon Cooks got hurt in training camp.
This goes back to
the point I'm trying to make.
I don't want to see
I get both sides though.
He makes a good point, but at the end of the day, I think you want to see your quarterback play better. Does that mean that can't happen?
So the
without
guy that
receivers?
finished second in the MVP voting 1 year before that just fell off the cliff.
I'm not saying he fell off a cliff.
His hamstring fell off.
His hamstring fell off his bone, but I'm not. I don't
because
think
they didn't keep him clean.
But he wasn't playing.
We saw the cart, and we saw the cart too much. We're all making our points.
Yeah, it's all tying in together.
I don't think he was playing at the level that he was in 2023.
What caused that?
I'm not saying nothing caused that. I'm just saying that he wasn't there.
There's got to be a reason.
What are we arguing? Are y'all even arguing?
We're not arguing.
You're not even arguing. It's just
You guys both make.
We're making the
fair
same point.
points.
You agree.
We're agreeing. And this is why I love Mickey. But I'm just saying.
This is the most tense agreement of all time.
I'm just saying, if you want to get back to that level, that's where you go out and you do what you did. But I still think there is a level of, okay, what has Dak Prescott done off of injury? He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to play to the way that he was in 2023. I'm not saying he can't do that. I'm just saying he hasn't yet because we haven't played any games yet. We haven't seen him on the field yet, barely. So that's what he needs to do for this season. That's the most important part for the Cowboys.
But that's a national narrative out there.
What's that?
I saw one list of quarterbacks. He was ranked 17th.
I don't think he's the 17th best.
But
I think he's much better
that's
than that.
what the narrative is out there, that he's done, that he doesn't have anything left.
I'm not saying he's done or that he doesn't have anything left.
But you're saying he's got to go back and play better.
Well, yeah, he only.
Yeah,
I don't think he played well in those first 7 games.
Mickey would say it also because he did. He said he needed to play like the 2023 day.
Right. We all. I mean, he does have to play better. I mean, somehow to me, he's got to figure out how to play to be a football player again, not just a quarterback, but a football player, the guy that runs, diving, doing everything he can. And unfortunately, that's how he got hurt last year. So I don't know if he's going to go back to that type of guy. But to me, Dak Prescott wasn't. When his rookie year, he was a football player that played quarterback. That's the person that they need to get him back doing that again.
If you want Dak Prescott to go back to the MVP caliber Dak Prescott, 2 things need to occur. Well, 3, and you solve one by bringing in George Pickens. So you have the dynamic duo again now. Second thing is you need to establish the running game because he excels off of play action. Number 3, you need to protect him so that you can establish the running game so that he can excel off of play action. You get these things together, you will get MVP caliber Dak Prescott by default, is my opinion on the matter.
Pretty much all y'all said the same thing.
I know.
It all tied together.
Mickey agrees with all of us.
I love that.
But rightfully so. Well, I understand Mickey's angst because
Absolutely.
Mickey's angst is my angst in that because of who Dak Prescott plays for, he's not simply over-criticized, but there are falsehoods thrown upon him that wouldn't exist if he played for Carolina or if he played for Jacksonville. I mean, there are quarterbacks who are not good enough to carry Dak Prescott's luggage, but they play in B-level markets and C-level markets, so they don't generate the ratings.
Romo dealt with it for 10 years. I mean, that's
part
of it.
That's the
same thing.
Once you put the star on, that's exactly what it is. So I understand where Mickey's coming from, because that's true, and it's true. It was true of Tony Romo, and it's going to be true of Dak Prescott's successor down the road. It's just how it goes.
All right, well, we've got a little under a minute
Comes
to
with
go.
The dinner.
It does.
It comes with the dinner.
It comes with
Garrett used to say.
Before it's all said and done, who's y'all's dark horse in training camp?
To have a dark camp?
Like a great camp, or
who's gonna have a great camp?
Okay.
Dark horse breakout candidate.
Breakout. Thank you.
I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Man.
Dark horse breakout candidate.
Something could have been mentioned in the break. There
Yeah.
was a dead air.
Sorry, guys.
She just threw us for
All
a loop.
right, Tommy goes first.
All right, Tommy.
Give me Peyton Turner, the edge rusher. I think this is a guy that, you look at his build and you look at some of his tape back at Houston, maybe a little bit of untapped potential there. And defensive end is a room that is very deep. Even without Micah Parsons, I think they're very deep in terms of what they've got there right now. So this is not something where Peyton Turner necessarily needs to feel pressure to step up and take starting level snaps like he did in New Orleans when they picked him in the first round. This is a place where he can get better, and once he gets better and he gets comfortable in this defense, get after the passer and use some of his skill set from college.
Give me Marshawn Nealon. I'm not hearing a lot of people giving him the due praise as far as what he was able to do in his first year playing behind DeMarcus Lawrence. But now with Tank out of the picture, Marshawn is going to get a ton of reps. I feel like he's going to have a camp that's so strong that it's going to push his name in the conversation of, because a lot of people are saying, well, what will Sam Williams be when he comes back? We need Sam Williams to do this. Dante Fowler's back. Yeah, absolutely. He is black, by the way. But yay, by the way.
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything.
Thanks for clarifying that.
No, I actually said it. I heard myself say it.
So
if you heard me say it, then there it is. But there are names like Dante Fowler, obviously Micah Parsons, and obviously Sam Williams. But when it comes to the opposite side with Tank out of the picture, not enough people are mentioning Marshawn Nealon. And I feel like as a former second-round pick who has a tremendous upside, I think he can have a breakout camp for the Cowboys.
Nick?
I'll go with Brevin Spanford.
That's good.
I just think that he's going to have an opportunity to play a lot. I think that the nastiness of him, that's a guy that they need that edge type of mentality. I think he brings that. Lunda Wells says, when I need to start some stuff, I'm sending him in there. I don't think he's going to unseat Jake Ferguson, but I think that we'll be talking at some point at camp that how do we get this guy in the game a little bit more. That nothing against Schoonmaker. I think he made good strides, and I think Ferguson will too. But I think Brevin Spanford is going to find a role in this offense.
Mickey.
How about Jonathan Mingo?
Okay.
Didn't you just say, oh, okay, Mingo.
Okay.
You just yelled at me for 5 minutes because I brought his name up.
When?
5 minutes ago. We were talking about the receivers.
Like, who do you have last year? Is that Mingo? You're like,
okay, all right.
He got here halfway through the season.
He's like, all right.
Sorry, Mickey.
Halfway through the season. He didn't even know the offense.
So now, to steal your line, because you said Dak, you're like, all of a sudden just stopped playing. So now Mingo's figured it all out?
You asked for a dark horse. You didn't say for somebody that was going to just jump out
Mingo
there.
was his name.
That's right.
Not M-I-N-G-O. Did
Yep.
you go there?
I hope so.
Hey.
I mean, can he get a pass thrown in his direction?
He can
Not
now.
at the defender's helmet.
Oh, my
can
God.
now.
Like, he went from Carolina to here at Whedon.
Whedon.
Wow.
Brandon
sorry.
Whedon?
I'm sorry. That's what I was.
my
who was his
God.
name? Cooper Rush. How many redheaded backups have we had here? Garrett, and Dalton, and Cooper Rush, they all run together. Brandon Whedon. Same as Cooper Rush. Couldn't throw him a pass.
On that note, weve got to go. All right.
Who's your
predict-
dark?
Who's your
dark
get-
I got one. Yeah,
Who's yours?
I got mine.
Who's yours? You can't just ask the question.
Yeah. We used to have somebody on this squad that used to
who
do
you
that.
got?
I'm going to go with, this is hard.
Here you go.
Dak.
Ask right.
What?
Here you go.
Nuts.
If I said Dak, I think Mickey would have skewered
Yeah,
me.
he would have like.
I'm going to go.
Tommy would have said what? 17th in the league.
Ooh.
Behind
Come on.
Bryce Young.
Oh, I got one for you.
Oh, no.
You want me to say it?
Come on.
I'm going to go Damone Clark.
I knew you were. That's who I had for you.
I'm going
That's
Damone
who I had
Clark,
for
man. He's felt a little bit more confident with this new scheme and with Matt Eberflus. I've gotten a chance to talk to him, and he says he feels like he's going to get that fresh start that he needs. Obviously not getting the opportunities under Mike Zimmer's defense last year. So I'm looking for Damone Clark to kind of get a little bit
about Barron,
more.
Syracuse? That'd be my
I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
All right.
Rightfully
This
so.
has been great. Great show, guys. For Mickey Spagnola, Tommy Yarish, Nick Eatman, Patrick Nosey Walker, Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all next time.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?